Okay, good morning again. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst, our second shir, Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi in Yerushalyim here HaKodesh on HaKodesh number 6, not too far from the central bus station. So come walk from there. You can take a bus, drive if you have a car. If you're coming from Furst, please, we'd love to have you and help you enrich yourself and your Torah learning. We're learning Mishna here. We're exactly 1 week away from Purim. And we're finishing up Siman Taf Reis Sadi Hey. We'll start again with Sif Dalit. And we'll see the Mishnah Berura on that. We learned this minute, we'll make a correction of something we learned previously in the Mishnah Berura. And we'll find out Bez Hashem a little bit better pshat than we said originally. Taf Reis Sadi Hey, Sif Dalit. Amma?
חייב לשלוח לחברו שתי מנות, בשר או של מיני מאכלים. A person is obligated to send 2 portions to a friend of meat, two portions, meat or different foods. שנאמר משלח מנות איש לרעהו, because she says you should send portions to your friend. שתי מנות לאיש אחד, 2 portions to one person. לכל אמר בלשלוח לרעים משובח. Whoever sends more to his friends is praised.
Okay, let's stop there. Let's see the Mishnah Berura here. Sukkot Yud Ches.
לשלוח בתשובת בניין ציון סימן מ"ד, and the responsive בנית בניין ציון 44 נסתפק אם הביא בעצמו המנות ולא יש עליהם יצא. He's doubtful whether the person brings the משלוח מנות himself and not through a messenger if he's yotze. Because it's written משלוח and should send. נאמן דווי דווקא על ידי שליח. It means that it should be through a messenger. עין שם see there. שתי מתנות. בעניים הקפידו ליתן שני עניים למצווה לחלק. When it came to poor people, you should send 2 poor because you should send 2 portions because the mitzvah to divide it up. But if a rich person, you can give it all to one person.
Okay, so that's how we originally learned it 2 days ago. And in those last 2 days, I mentioned this to I asked one of my Chabruts I learned with. I said, what's going on with this Mishnah Berura? I said, what's wrong with it? I said, okay, tell me what's pshat. So we spent the last, yesterday we spent about almost an hour on it, and today we spent almost an hour on it, and he also spent extra time on it, and apparently the pshat is as follows. The Mishnah Berura is trying to explain something here that is basically what's the difference between Matanas Levyonim and Sholach Manos. Right, Matanas Levyonim is supposed to send to two people, right? Money gift of one portion to one person, another money gift of another portion to another person. So we send to one and one to one and one. When it comes to Sholach Manos, you send 2 portions to one person, right? Only to one. When Sholach Manos, only one person. When it comes to Matasim, you send to 2 people. Okay? So what's the difference? That's what the Mishnah Berura means. I think that as we would try to work it out, the Mishnah Berura seems to be saying like this. Ve'eniyim, which means by Matanas Levyonim, we're hikpidu, we're careful, litain l'shteinim, to give it to 2 niyim. The mitzvah lachalek. It's a mitzvah to split up and to give the money that you have, to split it to at least 2 niyim, right?
This is talking about Matanas Levyonim, or
this is talking about Matanas Levyonim. Right? That's not the way we learned 2 days ago.
No, we did.
No, we didn't. We learned.
Well, he doesn't bring it up at all.
No. You're right. You're right. You are correct. You are correct. But because it seems not to be pshat that, like we said, we asked a theoretical case. Let's say, okay, if the way we learned Mishnah Berura 2 days ago, I have a loaf of bread and I got a roast beef, right? So what am I supposed to do? According to this Mishnah Berura, we said, well, maybe you're supposed to give 1 ani a loaf of bread, and the other ani a roast beef. Or maybe you're supposed to give a half a loaf of bread and a half a roast beef to one ani, and a half a roast of beef and a half a loaf of bread to the other ani. That's what we basically said. That apparently is not the pshat. Okay? It's definitely not the pshat that you give one loaf of bread to one ani and a roast beef to the other, because you've got to give, right, when you're talking about shalach manos, you've got to give two portions, right? You've got to give two portions. So you can't just give one loaf of bread and one roast beef to two different people. That's not pshat. So we have to say pshat that the Mr. Berura is really trying to deal with the question, right, a theoretical question, why, when it comes to shalach manos, you have to only give to one person, and when it comes to matanas levyonim, you have to give to two people. You can ask, if you have people, you can ask them what's pshat in this Mishna Berura, right? If you do it on Purim, you get a lot of different answers.
What it says over here, shtei manot leish echad.
Yeah, shtei manot leish.
What does that mean exactly?
What do you think?
Shtei manot.
Yeah.
Leish echad. Shtei manot. Why two mishloach manot to one person?
Well,
because it says the mishpat beforehand, mishloach manot leish re'el.
Right.
Right. So maybe that's mishloach manot leish re'el. That means maybe.
Well, it says,
maybe one person you have to bring two mishloach manot.
Yeah,
that's
but why would it change without any notice that he's talking all of a sudden from mishloach manot? That's just the question.
You're right. You're right. But again, let's look at the mechaber again. Chayav l'shloach chavero shtei monos, basar or shomani oichim.
Right.
Shenemar l'shloach monos l'yisraelu. Right. So shtei monos leish echad. I mean, what's this repetition here? Meaning, he said chayav l'shloach chavero shtei monos basar or mini oichim. You want to bring the pasuk, very nice. You want to bring the pasuk. That's where you know it from. Right? He already told you, chayav l'shloach l'chavero shtei monos. You have to send to your friend, right? Chavero. You have to send to your friend. What do you have to send him? 2 monos. You have to send him roast beef and potatoes, if that's considered 2 monos, right? So what does it mean? So he has to repeat shtei monos leish echad.
Makes sense. Makes sense. It makes sense what you're saying.
Yeah.
So
what's mentioned in the Chaber about matzot evini?
you just
we didn't get to that. We didn't get to that. We didn't get to that. But that's over here. If you just go back to Tuf Reish Tzadi Daled, right? Right. Yeah, we can read it. We can learn it a bit. Go ahead. Yeah, Yisrael. Yeah. What's the Yisrael
so
question?
one question is that we're talking about shalach monos. So it's one person, each one gets one shalach monos.
What?
One person gets one shalach monos each.
No. What does the Mechaber say? Read the Mechaber.
Time shalach monos shtei baton. One package of two things.
Well, you have to give him 2 things. You have to give him 2 things, right? You want to give him a package of rice cakes and a jar of peanut butter. Very good.
We'll give him potato kugel and a drink.
Get a roast beef and kugel. Right? Roast beef and potatoes, maybe. They asked the question if it's all in one thing. You have a nice big roast beef pan. A pan of roast beef, big roast beef with potatoes on the, around the side. Is that considered like 1 or 2? Right? Yeah, it's very nice if you get that. I never got that one. Much better than all the candies and the waffle. Some are not so happy about the waffle because they say it should be something that should eat part of the Suda. Well, that's another story. Yeah, that's another story. Yeah. So let's take a look. Tuf Reish Tzadi Daled. Take a look there. Go ahead. Oh, so you see here, each person is obligated to give at least shtei monos l'shtei aniyim.
Right.
Take a quick look at the Mishna Berura.
So what's in them?
That's in Tuf Reish Tzadi Daled, about 2 pages back.
Kol Adam?
Yeah.
בין איש ובין אישה, בין ומן. ואפילו אני המתפרנס מן הצדקה דעת כמה אחרונים דצריך לתת ממה שנתנו לו. And per person has to give from what he has.
Meaning what they give him.
Right.
This guy has no income. He's got no income. All he gets is tzedakah money. So from the tzedakah money he gets, he's got to give from that. L'chein lefachot.
L'chein lefachot, to give at least. But Rashali ten ma'achalomad, it's good. You should give. It should be. You should give
That's right,
food.
he's permitted. He's
You're
permitted.
permitted to
That's
give
right,
food or
permitted.
money.
Yeah, can
V'lo
give him food or money.
matzati. V'lo matzati et kama yeshur matanot. I have not found how much is the share of the matanot.
Right.
I mean, how many people to give?
No. I think it's how much money to give.
How much money?
The Mishna, believe me, he worked. If he couldn't find it, meaning he didn't find it. So he hasn't found, right, that Ke'es, meaning when he was writing this, this was 150 years ago. So when he wrote this, he didn't find the exact amount how to give. Now, because the point being is that, like tzedakah, when you give a pruta to tzedakah, you give like, I remember, I think a pruta in America was originally, I think, around 3 cents worth, about 3 cents worth, which would be like one shekel, more or less. But they say since you can't buy anything really for 3 cents, so they say some say at least a nickel. But okay, 3 cents, 1 shekel, right?
3 cents is not a shekel.
What? 3 cents is not a cent? No, what is, no, yeah, right. No, $3 would be a shekel, right? No, what is it?
About 33 cents, 40 cents, 45 cents would be $1.
45 cents would be.
Because it's like 390 or 380 or 380. It's almost a quarter.
$1
So
really? No.
yeah.
3 shekels, 3 is $1.
I think so.
6 is
It
$1.
went up now, the dollar?
The shekel went up.
Oh,
The shekels went up.
Says what?
The shekels went up. So you're talking. By us, they told us that it's a portion. A falafel portion. So they say about 10, 15, 20 shekels.
Well, that's Matanas Levi. That's Shalchmonis. That's
No.
No,
He said
Matanas
they say there should be a portion where somebody he can buy some food.
Right, yeah.
What's the least cheaply amount you can buy?
Correct.
Falafel. So
Right.
falafel is about
Correct.
You can get it for 10 shekels.
Right.
So that's what the minimum you should get.
I understand, but what's the
You don't have
Mishnah
any
say?
falafel in
He
the
says
world,
that there's no share. He says that
He hasn't found this shit because
Right.
why? Because really, Matanas Levyonim is a din of tzedakah, and tzedakah you give the smallest. You can give a penny to a guy who's collecting. He's gonna get 1,000 pennies, so he's got himself $100 in his pocket. So he's got money, right? So therefore, there's really no minimal shear, right? Now, that could be in theory true, but that's not going to really accomplish what you want to accomplish. Now it says a b'kedushi ritva, kasef.
אפילו שתי פרוטה, even 2 פרוטות, זה שווה פרוטה חשובה מתנה, אבל לא פחות, because the equals, the pruta is important,
Right.
as a gift, but not minimum.
It's considered to be a matana. A below cost not less than the.
I guess we're talking that, it makes sense, because in my day, when I came to Montreal in '63, for 3 cents, we used to get a chocolate donut in the Yeshiva, right? So that was 3 cents, it was a chocolate donut. So when they went to 4 cents, I couldn't afford a donut every day. I was pretty upset, because every day, So I'm just saying, 3 cents is, pruta in those days, could buy a loaf of bread, could buy something.
You can buy something, right?
And today, you can't do that.
Right. 3 cents doesn't buy you too much, but
You can buy the bazooka, you can't buy it.
So you can't even buy that.
Bazooka now?
Yeah.
There was a penny. There was a penny bazooka.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, so it says pruta, it's not like they're making fun, they're saying that you can buy food with that amount.
Remember baseball cards? with the gum in it?
שתי פרוטה, דשאר פרוטה חשוב מתי, אבל לא פחות. אם החליף סעודתו בשל חבר, if he exchanges his meal with his friend, יעשה דין המתן, he is יוצא the giving of gifts. ועל כן, אני המתפרנס מן הצדקה, and a poor man who's receiving from tzedakah, ייתן שני מתן לשני אביונים, he should give two gifts to 2 poor people, ויחזור הם ויתנו לנו, they should return it. עוד כתב, nearly, seems to me, לכתחילה צריך ליתן לאביון דבר ראוי לענות ממנו פר. That you have to give the poor person something that he is going to enjoy on Purim.
right.
Machal or ma'al sheyuchalot Purim. Food or money that he's going to be able to use on Purim.
Right. So therefore, like if you give him dollars, like so maybe he's not going to be able to cash the dollars on Purim or something like that.
That was a problem in my time too, because there was no stores open on Sundays. When Purim came on a Sunday, it became a problem because they can't buy food.
That means you can't give a a coupon from the ear or something, then they can't give a person a check that they.
If they can cash it on the, only if he can cash it on that day, and he has time to buy with it, then you can give him a check.
Right.
But if it's you can't cash it on that day, then it's not good.
Yeah, like let's say Purim comes out here in Yerushalyim, is Erev Shabbos. So banks, I don't know, banks are up until when, on Erev Shabbos?
The ones that open are open until 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock.
Right. So it's not so fast.
He has to have time to get to the bank, cash it,
Yeah.
and then he has to be able to buy something.
Yeah. So, okay.
I think my son gives a tlushim from Chasdei Nami.
Right,
You give a tlushim from Yesh or something like that.
right.
That means they give like a 200, 300 check.
Okay, so in theory, they could go to the store and they could
They
like,
buy it,
So it should be
Because
all
they don't want him to buy things.
right. Yeah, they want to buy things that's...
Yeah, food.
They want to buy other things.
Shete matanot, 2 gifts. Zero medina, this is the law. Aval be'emet mutav laharbor matanot. In truth, you can add to the amount of gifts. Levyonim to the poor people. Milarbod b'sudato. Then better than having a big suda or mishloach manot lerav, and to give mishloach manot to his friends. She'en simcha gedolah mefoara ela lesameach lev aniyim yitur memor. Because there's nothing bigger than to make happy.
Right, there's no greater
There's
joy.
joy. And to make happy.
And excellent. There's no greater joy and excellence than to give joy to the hearts of the Aniyim and the
Almanot, the widows and orphans.
Yeah.
Vedome lashkina, and it's compared to shkina.
Right, meaning a person who does so, a person who makes the Aniyim happy, right? He's doing it to the Shekhinah. He's compared to the presence of the HaKodesh Baruch Hu.
Shneimar lachayot ruach shefalim ulachayot lev mitkaim. To give life.
L'chayos ruach shefalim, to invigorate, to enliven those who are downcast, shvolim, right? L'chayos leiv nidakim, and to enliven the heart of those who are cast off. Right? That's a reference to HaKodesh Baruch who's doing those things, and a person's going to do that, especially on Purim. And again, sometimes people go around on Purim, they're collecting for themselves, pasha. It's a time when they know people are giving, and so people didn't. I know by us this whole month, or the last 2 weeks or so, people are coming around. And,
The question is, what do you do with the Yeshiva boys that come to you on this week when they come, and next week when they come as Masada? What do you do when they come to you on Purim?
Right.
How do you? It's a duchavad. What do you get from giving them money?
Right. So
Torah.
Excuse me.
Torah.
It's
the
all
Torah,
these pages that you have nothing to do with Torah. Over here, Mishloach
So,
Manot,
right. So there's an Orach
Good point.
Shulchan. No, Orach Shulchan.
This week and next week, they say they're doing for Tatim, but when the Tat comes to you on Purim Day,
Right.
so what do you read anything about this story with him?
Right. So the thing is like this. How do you the Tat is really like a community fund. It's a community fund for the yeshiva.
It's not exactly. That's what they don't understand. They don't have when my son got married, so they get engaged, and then there's somebody charged the Tat. What's a Tat? They come to you and they said, your father is unemployed, or your mother doesn't work, or somebody's sick. They said, take 5,000 shekel, 10,000 shekel, and we'll give you the stores, and buy a suit and a hat and a coat and everything, and they give him money. And where do they get the money from? That's from these 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's what's called, that's tat.
Right.
But that doesn't help you for metanos
Right.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what tat, if you don't know what tat is, that's what
That's
the basis. That's when boys get married, they don't have money, so they give them, most of them don't have money, they don't have.
But it's a good concept. I like the concept, but it doesn't help you metanos levyonim on that
Right.
on part.
Okay. So fine. So
So what
good.
do you do
So
from
right.
this?
So again, a person, a person. Let's say he's got 100 shekels. He's got 100 shekels to give out. Right? So again, you have to give him he should buy give at least as much for falafel's worth. 15, 20 shekels, 30 shekels, whatever it is. So he's got to give out to two. So he's got 30 shekels to this one, 30 shekels to that one. So he's got himself now
Why
another.
2? You get 50 per person. 50 per any.
Yeah, okay, 15.
I'm just asking. You said 2. There's a, if there's a
Right,
reason.
so if it's a 15 shekel fill out, fine.
I'm just asking if there's maybe you have to get double.
There's a Mishkan, no? There's an amount you should give, no? There is a certain amount.
Well,
no, he said there's no amount. He
the
just
point
learned it.
is basically.
He said that Chaim says that there's no that he looked there was no amount.
Okay, the Dersha would say it ranges. I'll tell you, it ranges basically from about 15 shekels to about 50 shekels.
Okay, fine. So, okay, fine.
It ranges. You know, it's depending on the place that
Right.
you ask. Right? Some person said more. So this again, if it's a Ulaman giving, or if it's a balabas giving, or is a
Right.
retired Asher's giving, he's living on his interest. You know, so each person according to what he can give. Right? So, like again, minimally, shtei prutos. You know, so that's not you take out a 10 shekel coin, and you more than yotzi with 10 shekels to this guy, 10 shekels to that. So minimally a yotzi, right? The question is going to be asked, and they'll speak about taking meiser money, using meiser money. There's a guy who has meiser kasapim. He gets his income a certain month. Here he takes meiser kasapim, can use that. So in theory, no, because you're not supposed to use meiser kasapim for anything which is an obligation. But what you could do is you could say your minimal amount that you're fulfilling your mitzvah is the 15 shekels or the 50 shekels, or even if you want to go down to the 2 prutas.
Right.
Mishna was speaking about an ani that has to take, he's getting money from tzedakah. So how much does a person like that have to give?
Right.
Everything he gets is, he's buying, shoes and food and everything. So how much he has? So minimally 2 prutas.
Right.
2 prutas. Okay, 2 prutas. The rest of the money he can keep for himself, no problem. Right? So, Baruch Hashem, most people are not like that. So, if a person has meiser kasafim, his money, he meisers his kasafim, money, which is a mitzvah, according to many poskim mitzvah d'Rabbanan, that he should meiser his income.
And use that money for tzedakah.
So you can use that money to give tzedakah. The ikar tzedakah, the Orach Shulchan says that ikar tzedakah is Talmidei Chachamim, right? That's you want to provide for the needs of Talmidei Chachamim that are learning, and obviously they're not working and making money, so they obviously need money, and to help them along to continue learning. That's where the ikar tzedakah is. Right? It doesn't always get the publicity that as Yesamim and Omonas get, right? Hamachlis Kala doesn't get that, but that's where the ikar money. If you want to put your money in the best, if you got limited funds and you want to put it to the best use for your own sake, right? Give it to Talmidei Chachamim, right?
That's
the top. Will be the top. But right now, Matanos Levyonim, that money is supposed to be used for the Ikar Sudas. You're giving that it should be used for Sudas Purim. That's why you have to give it in a time and a place, in a way that they can use it to buy for, that they can use it for Purim and for the Sudas Purim. So a Tad comes along and asks money for you on Purim, right? So if the only money you've got, right? Let's say Tad comes to an Ani, and he's only going to give us 2. He's got 2 prutas, right? If he gives it to a Tad, he's not Yotzi Matanos Levyonim. Even though the Bakr may be Aniyim, and the Rosh Yeshiva at Tsama says the best Ani is to give it to a Bakr in Yeshiva, who's not being supported by his family. Many Bakrim, that their parents, they Baruch Hashem, they have big families, and they have 6, 7 children married already, and maybe they have a couple more Bakrim in the Yeshiva and things like this, and they have Kalas, the Yeshiva feeds them, and he's the best Ani you can give to. Right? He's a mamish and ani midoraisa, because he has nothing, and he's learning Torah, and he's doing the best he can, right? So if you only have those 2 prutas, you have to give to the tat, you're not going to be yotzi. Now you want to give tzedakah on a mitzvah kol poseach yad. Anyone who opens their hands, right? Eimadakni, that's Sif Gimel. Eimadakni b'mois Purim. That's on the next page. Turn to the next page. That's Sif Gimel. Have it there.
And medakim the most Purim. We're not careful with the monies of Purim. Whoever stretches out his hand, we put it there. And in places where they give him to non-Jews, they also give.
Take a look there in the Mishna Berura. That's in Sifkat Yud. That's 3 lines of 4 lines.
In a city that it's not accustomed to it, so. If you give money to a non-Jew, you're stealing it from a Jew. And it looks like he's to himself, as if he's Mekayim the mitzvah Matanat Levyonim.
Af la'akum
Af
notnim.
la'akum notnim, mipnei darach hashalom. Merkon kol shein aniyim Yisrael, mad Purim
That's
So you have Eastern Parkway and all the Shratzes over there looking what's going on 770 over there outside, and there's a Shratze, he says, give me that money, but then you have to give
What are
me
you
the money.
talking about? When I was living in Washington Heights, that's Upper New York. I was listening to Washington Heights, Yeshiva University up there in the Berura Kehillah. Poor morning, two guys standing on the steps going to shul. They know what day it is. Two guys, Ivan and Peter, they're standing on the steps, waiting. Gave them a quarter, donkey shoulder,
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
In Morocco, they gave to the Arabs. Right? The
Yeah,
Arabs
yeah,
also.
yeah,
We in Morocco, my mother tells stories of, they put out their hands before them. They knew what
They know this is the day that
They
Jews are
know.
giving out.
That's right.
So
They
You
know.
gave it to him, you gave him?
Yeah, Dr. Shalom said the Shulchan Aruch.
You don't have problems.
You don't have problem.
Yeah.
What are you going to give for? And they say, not you. In the Shuk, I do that. The Shuk, I won't give the Arabs.
Meaning on a regular day.
On a regular day.
Yeah.
The Shuk, and in Purim, if I see them, I
Even
won't give
if-
them.
Yeah, even on Purim a regular day, even on Purim the shuk, you don't necessarily have to,
They
but
put out their hand in front of you.
yeah,
Was that Shem that Nagu? Nagu to
Person who
take?
makes a
Not
mistake.
good. In the place that they
And they have to
are.
sell it's Nagu?
Nope, I never
Well, I
seen
don't know
it.
if he's
I
making.
don't know if it says Poshet Yadov. It says Poshet Yadov, right? Poshet Yadov, he told whoever stretches out his hand.
That's
Is that
a Jew
considered a
though.
duck or is
So
that
it says it, then he
considered
brings down, that there's Kasutin given to non-Jews.
Look, Holmes in Nagu, if they
Like,
do
no,
Nagu,
That's a
and they all
Here
give.
in Israel, they give,
Well,
they give,
they
yeah.
give.
Don't give money
A
for
lot of
the
people
shit,
do
they
that.
should have percentage.
I stopped, I got screwed by a woman. It was an Arab person on Agrippa's. I gave her a shekel, I
It's very, very
and this lady started screaming at me, and then she said, I didn't understand at first. She said,
for
an Arab, and they killed my son in a terrorist attack.
So you,
And after that, I stopped giving the Arabs.
If some people
You can't argue with that logic.
if I get a donation from somebody like for me that I accept it, I prefer not to. It's really good.
What's the story? Zecher Machatzi, we're talking about money, Zecher Machatzi to shekel.
Yeah.
Let's look at how much money you have to give.
The Ramah makes you there's three coins of in the Medina you live that are of a Hetzi. If you live in America, so you have three half dollars.
So what's the
Here,
story?
3 shekels,
Like
we have shekels.
people have these older quarters,
Yeah.
they put them together on what sellotape, tape?
Well, it's half dollars, not
Yeah,
shekels.
it's half that.
It's
It's
dollar,
half
dollar.
dollars.
Because it should be a half.
The old
coin,
ones that
half
were
coin.
still from gold, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure why it's specifically that. I don't know what's. I give three shekels, 3 half shekels.
But that's only one half a shekel.
one half.
One half shekel.
Yeah, because we say the Ramah says 3 coins.
And so, we give one.
Because there are three trumas that we had in the 3 trumas.
The rabbi of our shul, God bless him, a Sephardi body, but an Ashkenazic wine. So I told him, because of him, I give three different. I give 1, I give 3, and then I give the equivalent of silver. That's what because he talks a lot about giving the equivalent of the silver.
So, how much did you say that is?
That's every year changes,
Yeah, okay, bear it.
Whatever he says.
Okay, so let's see, where were we? So again, we go back to our halacha. We were trying to figure out this Mishna Berura. I admit to you, it's a difficult Mishna Berura. What's the Mishna Berura again? The Mechaber says in Tafresh Sadi Hey and Sif Dal Kayev L'Shloach L'Kaberu Shtei Manos Basar O Mini Oichli. Right? Brings the pasuk Shenamar L'Shloach Manos L'Yisraelu. So now, what's this extra? Shtei Manos L'Ish Echad. What do you need that for? Okay. So the Mishnah Berurah comes along and says, right? Shtei manos, you have to give 2 portions, right? 2 portions, right? V'niyim hikpid l'tein l'shnei niyim the mitzvah l'chalek. Right? So that's the whole question. What is this talking about? Mashen came ba'ashir, the die, b'shem noisim la'echa.
He's talking about Mishloach Manot.
Technically,
That's-
maybe.
Go ahead.
The second part is talking about it. Ma she'en ken bashir dai benoten
Yeah, it's
echad.
all the same one.
That's Mishloach Manot.
Right.
It
Same
says
thing.
to
This
one.
is, this is
So
the
must be
same
the
thing.
first part must be talking about the same thing, and the second
That,
part.
that, that,
That's the way I originally learned.
that's the way I'm learning it also now as I'm reading more and more. I think the original answer, in other words, if you're going to give to poor people, better you should spread the amount to two people rather than to one. But a rich person, because we learned that you have to give them a nice shalach manas, you can give them what one person is enough. I'm learning it more the way you learned it yesterday. But it could be that he's dividing it up. 'Cause why would he divide it?
It's difficult to mention. Look, I can't say I'm 100%. It's difficult. This mishmur is difficult for me. I don't really claim to know the exact shot in this mishmur. It's bothersome the mishmur here. Ve'iniyim hikpidu litain l'shnei iniyim b'mitzvah v'cham.
If the Mishloach Manot the Reu is an ani, so what do? You split it up.
That's why I'm understanding.
That's
it.
the way
But
we
he-
learned originally.
That's right. That's right. But it says he learned different. That this
Yeah.
first part is talking. I'm a matos lavyonim, but I just don't understand why he would put it in that situation when the second part goes back to the original.
Right.
Right.
Because the second part is telling you masha ein ba came ba'asher, and the usher you're not giving matanos lavyonim, right?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so that's we're talking about my.
Because and it seems pretty clear that you really are not going to be yotzi if you give only one mana to even an ani. I mean,
No, you have to give two. I mean, you have to.
Yeah.
You just have to break them up.
Because we learned by Matanis Levyonim, you can give food or money.
Right.
Matanis Levyonim, it doesn't have to be doctor money to
Right.
the Yevyonim. But, and that, you can give one portion of food to fulfill your mitzvah of Matanis Levyonim, right? So that would make it even more schwer, because if let's say, if you gave one portion of food to an ani, right? So what are you giving? Are you giving that sholach manas or are you giving matanas levyonim? Pash is giving matanas levyonim. So I don't think it's going to be that you should split it up and give one portion to, because that's what we said. What's supposed to do?
No, the chalek meaning, like you said yesterday, we'll have a roast, divide it to two, and if you have, you give potatoes, divide the portion. Or make sandwiches, like you said yesterday. So that's what it means, divide it up. Divide it up meaning, don't give it all to one per person. If you're giving poor people, a rich person, yeah, rich person is where everybody's going to agree, you send it to the rich person. But the poor person, like you said, I think you said this yesterday, you divide up whatever you're going to give, divide up. So you have more poor people, you're feeding more poor people from Matanos La'Yonim.
Yeah. Could be.
I don't know, that's the way I'm learning it.
It says that you have to know a bit about the background. He's recording the Magen Avraham, and the Magen Avraham is saying this on his own, even though there happens to be a Bach that's explaining according to the Rat. It's
What's the story between Ish, Adam, Ve'chavero?
yeah. So it says.
Sometimes you have it written Ish,
Right.
sometimes written Adam,
Right.
and sometimes Chavero also.
Yeah.
What's the difference in these things also? If there's a difference, maybe just send it.
Yeah, it says, well, Chaver is by us now. Chayav Rishloch
Chavero
Chaver.
sounds like Mishlach Manot, you know,
Yeah.
Kalin.
Right.
The other things.
Ish
Sometimes
Echad.
Adam, sometimes written Ish.
Ish Echad, right. Ish Echad. Right. Okay, we'll see more. Again, anyway, the halacha is you have to give two, right, to one person.
Right.
If they're poor people, so if we learn shot, like I said earlier, it's a mitzvah mechalek, so if you have a certain amount of food, so it's a mitzvah to split it up to give different other people, more people food. The only question is if it's going to be, if it's not going to be important, they're not going to get, that's what we saw in the Berura. If it's a person who's an usher, he's not going to be happy with a half a loaf of bread and a half a roast. If he wants a whole loaf of bread and a whole roast, that's not going to make him happy. Right? So, like we said, he's not going to be happy with the 100 shekel scotch. He wants
What's the whole box?
All right. Like I say, if you have a chance, you speak to someone who knows a little bit about Mishna Berura. You ask them what side of the Mishna Berura is here. It's not.
Right.
It's not real 100% clear. I'm sorry to.
You have to work on it.
Yeah.
That's something
Yeah.
else.
Let's see the next. Mini or Yichlin
Mina ochlim, velo begadim, and not clothing, which are devarim and different and other things like that. What did mashke the shapidam, and according to the law, a drink is okay. Tishtiak bichlal achila, because drinking is all part of eating. V'chol v'chein sagi be'echad ocha be'echad mak, and also one bottle of wine and one something else. Uva'inan sheyeh min ochal mavushal v'lo b'sal, it should be cooked food and not some raw meat. The mishloach manot, because I mean hara'u miyad la'achila mashma, that is good for eating right away. The yeshom the kevan shu shachud v'ra'ulei bashel miyad sharmim. Some people say that because it's been shafted and it's ready to be cooked right away, it's also good enough.
Very good. Okay.
Zeshlech.
Okay, so that's further on in the.
Right.
Let's see the Mechaber and some of the Ramon. Go ahead.
V'chol amar v'lishlach l'reim. Okay. Ve'im ein lo machlif inchem. If he doesn't have money, he exchanges with his friends.
Just switch with your friend. You trade off.
Right.
Yeah, I'll give you,
Meal.
and then you give it back to me, and that way we'll be yotzi that way.
Zeh shalach lazeh seudato. This one sends his meal to this one. Zeh shalach lazeh seudato. And this one sends his own meal. Kedei lekayim mishlach manot Yisrael, to the yotzi the mitzvah of mishlach manot Yisrael. Ve'agah.
Okay.
Yesh lishlach manot bayom. They send mishlach manot in the day. Ve'lo balayla, not at night. Ve'im shaleach manot le're'eu, and if he sends a portion to his friend, ve'hu eno rotz lekabla, and he doesn't want to accept it, or mochelo, or he says, you know what, I don't need it, yatsa, he's still yotze because he sent it. Ve'isha chayim matol la'avion mishlach manot k'ish. A woman is also chayevet to do mishlach manot like a man. Ve'isha tishlach le'isha, ve'ish le'ish. A woman to a woman and men to men. Aval lo la'afech, and not the other way around. Shelo yavo ish lishlach la'almana ve'yavo lides of kedushin. They shouldn't just give it to an almana and then he's going to come back to kedushin. Matanat la'avyonim and la'chshosh. It's something mentioned in shul.
Yeah.
This, which I never seen. I'm an older man and I never seen that you have to give your wife. Here, you give this shalach man. It has to belong to her.
Okay,
But I thought a man and a woman is one.
So there's a range of opinions in the posting about this. If I'm not mistaken, Rabbi Lashib held that you should make it. You should give the wife she's going to have her make a kinyan that becomes hers, because really everything she owns is yours.
Right.
Right. So she's really not giving anything of her own. Right. And Rav Steinberg also taught us that preferably we should do that. That's the best way to do it. Actually, give her, here's a bottle of wine, and here's a cake, and they're yours. You can do anything that you want with them. Make a kinyan on them, and you can give them to anybody you want. Right. So fine. She does. She can take it and wrap it up and give it to her neighbor, her best friend, whatever. Right. If she wants to give it back to you, and she can say to you, "You be my shliach to deliver," because you're really supposed to be done al yedei shliach, right? Or she can, if she wants to give it to the neighbor, give it to one of the kids. Take it next door, knock on the door, and say, "This is for my mommy, and for you." Right? She's your tzim. There are those that say not that way because ishto kagufo, right? So when you're doing it, you're actually in a way doing it for your wife as well. Okay. So you have a range of posts.
Yeah, but we read that it says גם נשים מחויב
Yes, right. So the question is, if it's a mitzvah shebegufo, right? Meaning just like tefillin's a mitzvah shebegufo. You can't be a slave to put on tefillin. Some things I have to mekadesh an isha. I can give you money, right? I can say, here, take this shever pruta and mekadesh me an isha. So you do it as my agent, my messenger, and you can mekadesh so and so to me, right? There are some mitzvahs I want you to give tzedakah, like Matanas Lev Yoni. I want you to be my slave to give the Matanas Lev Yoni. So in theory, I can have you do it. It's not a mitzvah shebegufo. But if she's supposed to be giving, because what's the whole point? Part of the point of Shalach Manas is you're supposed to marber reyus, right? So when you're giving it, right, so it's coming from you, it's not really coming from her, right? So she has to be the one who's causing this increase in friendship and cherished the belovedness of one Jew to the next, right? So again, depends what you've been used to. Some are used to making a full kinyan. Some are not. We'll see. We'll take a look at the Mishna Berura. We'll see what the Mishna Berura says about some of these points. Take a look. We'll see in Sifkan and Chav Aleph.
Zeh shalach, but this one sense of this. Vayotze yedech bato, and Yotze is obligation. Af al pi sheolech achad kach lisod. And so even though you're going to go later on and eat a suda by him.
Right. So if I send it to you,
And you
send it to me, and you're gonna, what you sent to me is what you're gonna be eating by
That's
my table. But
that's fine. L'shloach manot bayom. והוא הדין מתנות לוי ומצורף למתנות לוי. אם לא שיקיים במצווה לשילוח מנות לאיש אחד ביום ביום, אין נפקא מינה במה שרוצה להוסיף עוד בלילה. As long as he has one mashloach manot and two matanot leviyonim, he can keep adding at night all he wants to keep giving. Or mochalo,
What's the same? Just missed the last point you just said.
you're not supposed to give the shulach manos at night. You're supposed to do it during the daytime. But if you're gonna do it during the day, so if you want to do things where you might do extras, right? So einach gemina u'masher rotz la'osif od b'layla.
You're not attractive. What does that mean? You can say, I'm giving it to you now for tomorrow morning.
So we're afraid that they might come to eat it. Maybe I say, this is too good to save it tomorrow. So
Im or mochalo, he forgives him. Ritzon means sheomer haneni keili kavat. It's like I received it. Yatsa v'apri chadash cholik calls it. Chadash arguably. V'chein evyorim. Same thing with poor people. Tiv kimu v'kiba they receive. V'gam nashim b'chlav. Women also including this. That I never see people who are careful with this. It could be that by a widow, but a woman who's married, he sends for her too. And anything he should be machmi on this.
So this is what the question is. What the Mishna means by Makom Makom Yesh Lahakmer, this is what the poskim start to discuss. We'll have to pick this up again, Mitzvah Shem on Yom Rishon, that what does it mean Makom Makom Yesh Lahakmer?
Yeah, you're right. That you have to give it to the woman to give her own shulach manos.
That's what some learn. Some learns that as long as she gives it herself, that's okay. But you don't have to actually mock it. You don't have to actually make a kinyan.
Oh, she has to give. So she should give one shulach manos herself.
Yeah. But not that she has to actually own it.
My dad
herself.
never did mishloach. My mother never did mishloach. She was a widow.
First.
Okay, so we'll stop here and we'll continue with the
Is the